how are you or anybody else determining that it's because of the school, or that opening up the school would have killed even more children?
It's completely relatable in modern media to make a show that lasts for 10 seasons where the kids are like, this is what school is like and it's miserable and I hate it.
This school sucks, man! School sucks.
Totally.
School sucks!
Well, there's a bunch of shows where they're great and they love,
Name a show where the focus of the show is how much the children love school, or even a factor of that show where the children love going to school. That's what I thought.
Seventh Heaven. My kid watched Seventh Heaven coming up and whatnot. The family was perfect and
didn't like school in Seventh Heaven. I watched Seventh Heaven. Jessica Biel. Ooh, early Jessica Biel. God damn. Okay. Jay wins.
I don't like that school bus.
Magic School Bus. There's one. But that's not a sitcom. But good job. Did he say name a show, or did he say name a sitcom? I don't know, but that's a good call. Either way. Yeah.
They were a Christian family, and that's primetime TV. It depends on what you watch. Your algorithm determines which your story.
So the big primetime shows that were getting, in the 2000s, 20 million viewers were typically depicting schools as miserable. The teachers were miserable. Mm-hmm. Malcolm in the Middle is a great example.
I'll be in my room.
Of every facet of school that the kids were in, they were abused. Even the gifted kid, Malcolm, was abused.
And even if you want to make the argument that is that's part of the humor is exaggerating those things, like what's exaggerated to look like abuse is still not good.
I can't judge America based on what Hollywood puts out in popular media.
Well, looks like Christian's back. Welcome to the party, Christians. Oh, well, the media that everybody consumes and is based on how everybody lives. We can't use that at all. It's just completely irrelevant to how people live.
Because, listen, they do the same thing to marriage. Is marriage terrible?
Yes.
But yes,
absolutely, they do.
And so many TV shows.
I think you just made that point.
Same thing based on what Hollywood puts out in popular media.
Well,
listen, they do the same thing to marriage. Is marriage terrible?
Yeah.
Lisa Simpson.
Okay, so Lisa Simpson was a character, though, that she was different because she liked going to school. That was a characteristic of her. It wasn't about the school. It wasn't the fact that the school was good. She was just a good student. There's nothing about how great the school was. Dylan says, why does he give off obnoxious school teacher disguised as a regular guest? He probably is. Yup.
Out in popular media.
Well,
listen, they do the same thing to marriage. Is marriage terrible? But yes,
absolutely, they do.
And so many TV shows show marriage as being just god awful, terrible, whatnot. It's like funny. It's kind of hip to be like, marriage is so bad. My marriage is so bad.
Why do you think that is?
Corey got married last year. I just congratulated him.
Thank you.
I just congratulated him because it's the best thing that could possibly happen to him.
But is it though? I mean, good for him if he's happy, but let's see where you're at in 7 years. That's all I got to say. Congratulations, but let's see where you're at in 7 years. So we said school is like Hollywood. Out of touch, has too much money, and incapable of making anything worthwhile, at least with any consistency. God damn. Let's call that a comment of the night. There you go. Let's star that comment of the night. Dylan's like, so it's hip to hate school? Yeah, I wonder why. Because it's so out of the realm of reality that people don't like school, that the joke is that these people, they actually don't like school because everybody else loves school.
But that just, I mean, if Hollywood, if we buy that Hollywood has a general leftward bias, if they are saying marriage is bad, maybe that has to do with it. Maybe it's conservative values that they think is bad. But if they're still saying that school is bad, and then they generally support the teachers union, that should tell you that the school is even worse than what they're depicting it as. But let's.
That's a great point. That's a great point, because it's not so much the people. It's not so much people in an individual marriage. It's the institution of marriage as a political, legal thing. And so, I mean, you guys obviously know that I'm not religious, but if you are religious and you get married and that's a sacred covenant, then that's, essentially a different thing than what most people do, and get sign the piece of paper and get the marriage license for 5 years and then break it up. But if he's saying that Hollywood does this to marriage and makes it look so bad when really it's good, then wait a minute,
I messed up.
So I haven't. Okay, I thought he was making a different point, right? Yeah. Okay, I got it backwards. He's making his own point.
And that should tell you that the school is even worse than what they're depicting it as. But let's just say,
that's he got the wrong message from that, because we're saying, or he's saying, he's wrong, but he's saying that if it's bad on TV, it's better in real life, and so it wouldn't be that the schools would be worse in real life, because his argument is on TV marriage is terrible, but in real life marriage is great.
You are Dr. Corey DeAngelis. Dr. Corey DeAngelis does.
I'm not a real doctor, though. I'm a Joe Biden doctor.
Are you even a real doctor?
I don't. I have a PhD in education.
It's a terrible talking point.
Based. If you know how many people go around with some PhD and this and that, and I'm doctor this, and he's really, oh well, I'm not a real doctor. Points for me. Points.
It's a terrible talking point, but you are Dr. Corey DeAngelis. There's no way in the world that you do any of your work based on television shows.
I don't think anyone thought that.
You do research.
Yeah. So I was going to give you a piece. I was going to give you a piece.
My point is that not that television shows are scholarly research. I'm saying our culture has normalized this idea and finds it relatable to display to people that schools are miserable and kids are bullied and beaten.
So you can clearly see the different perspectives, that accepting that pop culture does have relevance, and that while it is not a scholarly study, that these 7 shows have this propaganda or narrative or whatever you want to call it. To think that there's a difference between saying, okay, it's not that, but it means something, and saying, since it's not a scholarly article, it doesn't mean anything at all. And so this guy's like, science only. Culture doesn't matter.
I mean, why do we have these big anti-bullying campaigns? Why are we seeing so many kids suffering from increases in depression outside of social media?
I think part of it was the school closures that were induced by the teachers' unions.
Ooh, tell Fauci to shove it up his ass.
I'll get a little
by the teachers.
They were. There have been 6 studies, academic. I was the first one to do one, peer-reviewed at Social Science Quarterly. So I do still. Research. Yeah. I'm a doctor. You better listen to me. I'm the expert. You better listen to me. But we all found in each of these studies different research teams from the left, from the right, finding that in places with stronger teachers' unions, all else equal, controlling for the political persuasions in the area, the race in the area, the income in the area, all else equal, stronger teachers' unions, the school stayed closed longer. And there have been other studies that have linked the school closures to mental health issues as well. So I mean,
does any of that surprise anybody? Does that surprise anybody? Come on.
We could disagree about why the schools were closed.
So you throw those out there, but you don't educate the public. What you're talking about right now, in those same places, they had 3 times the number of kids of color who were actually dying from COVID. They had higher incidence of COVID, and they had more old teachers that were afraid of getting COVID. So you can say teachers unions, but when you...
I don't understand the connection. So the teachers... What?
Wrinkling my brain.
I am so lost. We gotta go all the way back.
So longer area, all else equal, stronger teachers unions, the school stayed closed longer. And there have been other studies.
So the stronger the union, the longer it stayed closed. Okay.
That have linked the school closures to mental health issues as well.
And
so
obviously
we could disagree about.
So his response to that is, well, black kids were and teachers were scared.
Why the schools were closed.
So you throw those out there, but you don't educate the public. What you're talking about right now, in those same places, they had 3 times the number of kids of color who were actually dying from COVID.
Okay, so if there's 3 times 0.1%, whatever. So there's higher instances of kids dying and teachers being scared. I don't understand that. I mean, I'll take your word for it, but how in the moment are you aware of that? That sounds like a post hoc thing. You're saying you're looking for a reason why they did the thing, and so it just so happens that more black again, why does it matter the color of the kids? But more black kids died. 3 times as many? I mean, let's just say it was. If 3 times as many kids are dying in a particular place, how are you or anybody else determining that it's because of the school, or that opening up the school would have killed even more children? I'm just like, nope. I'm going to say all those numbers are untrue.
Cap, stop it.
Calling bullshit. Yeah, that doesn't make, like, even just trying to make sense of it and accepting that, okay, there's more kids that died, and so they wanted to keep the schools closed longer. Number one, I feel like I would have heard about that. But 2, it just doesn't make sense. People said COVID was killing people. Don't you understand? Everyone needs to live in a bubble suit and never go outside so they can die alone, out of sight from depression. That's what they want. Hey, look who we got. Stephanie Miller in the building. Welcome to the party. Yeah, we all hated school, right? Why didn't anybody want to fix that? Welcome to the party, Stephanie Miller. You want to actually bring up a pretty good point. Maybe if they didn't close the schools, they would not have had three times as many deaths. I'm not even making that point. I'm just saying, how do you know at that point in time that that it has any connection to the school? You might be able to, after the fact, look at the correlation and say, well, it just so happened that these schools that stayed closed longer had more child deaths. But then again, how do you know that the inverse wouldn't be true?
Nothing's on snow.
That if they had opened the schools, it would have saved more of those kids. Maybe those kids died because they were at home with their grandparent who got COVID, and so on and so forth. Just a very broad claim. And not only that,
there's more.
Not only that, but listen to how he teased it up.
Link the school closures to mental health issues as well. So I mean, we could disagree about why the schools were closed.
So you throw those out there.
You throw those out there.
You don't educate the public.
But you don't educate the public.
How dare you?
Come on, man. You owe the public.
What you're talking about right now, in those same places, they had 3 times the number of kids of color who were actually dying from COVID. They had higher incidence of COVID, and they had more old teachers that were afraid of getting COVID.
I do not care at all, if teachers are scared of COVID.
Scary.
If you're scared of COVID and everybody else is like, nope, we're going to go back to school, your fear is not a reason to withhold education from children. Get a new job. Insanity that you're even saying that.
Incidents of COVID, and they had more old teachers that were afraid of getting COVID. So you can say teachers unions, but when you say teachers union, you're just talking about teachers. America loves its teachers. Every poll after poll after poll after poll
because
says
they're
that.
idiots.
or because teachers are actually a necessary part of a functioning democracy.
Bro, holy bad faith. Let's run that back. So many things just happened.
Let's recap.
So he's trying to say that because of all of these stats that I have, you guys are wrong about the teachers unions. Tim says, oh, well, people who think that are dumb. And now he's saying, well, teachers are actually a necessary part of a functioning democracy.
Stupid.
Did anybody say they weren't? Holy shit.
Higher incidence of COVID, and they had more old teachers that were afraid of getting COVID. So you can say teachers unions, but when you say teachers union, you're just talking about teachers. America loves its teachers. Every poll after poll after poll after poll.
Nobody said that we didn't love teachers individually. We're talking about the power that the teachers unions have.
They're idiots.
Because teachers are actually a necessary part of a functioning democracy.
Private schools
has nothing to do with anything. It's like, of course, race is involved. Of course. Shout out to Trey Williams. Welcome to the party. So, well, I think both those points go together, that the kids were dying and the teachers are old and because they had a strong teachers union, they were able to keep them closed. Right. That's what the Tim and this guy are saying. That's precisely what they're saying. And so he said, no, well, you can say teachers unions, but actually it was just the teachers in the unions.
What?
Yeah, bro. That's what we're talking about. That's what we're saying. Wow. I just talk about word soup. He just spun in a full 360. He's like, actually, I completely agree with you, but I'm going to say that you're wrong and you're not educating people and black kids died. And then, but yeah, I don't get it. Welcome to the party, brother. Mux9 said, hell, I said, why not put in final year teaching majors and let the older scared teacher attend by Zoom to oversee the class? Brilliant. Just off the dome, coming up with better solutions than we had. So he said, teachers have become low effort idiots, though. To be fair, it's caused by the system, but that's a different problem. True. And again, so there's not... It's a bait and switch when you want to say that the teachers unions are this, therefore a teacher is bad. Bait and switch. I was scared of COVID. A lot of people were scared of COVID. I just wasn't scared enough to inject myself with some crazy shit. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed that clip, check out the full live stream link in the bio and catch me live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. See you there.